What's up everyone? In this video I'm going to be adding a DC to DC converter to take my battery voltage down to 12 volts. I already have one in here that takes it to 5 volts because I need a 5 volt output for my RGB LED strips. Now I'm adding a 12 volt one because I found some purple running lights I want to put on the front here, and they run off 12 volts. You can see it takes an input of 15 to 72 volts. Need to be able to take at least 67.2 volts because that's the highest this battery will ever put out. Also, I'm going to run the halo portions of my headlights out to 12 volts. For some reason, these new lights that I got, the halos are not working very well compared to my older ones. I have my Q power here, and this is running off 60 some odd volts as well, so they're both running off the same voltage. These work really good. I've never had a problem with them. I've had them on there a year and a half at least. These look a little bit different, so I think these are a newer model of these, and unfortunately I believe they changed something with the halos. I've got two that came in the set and they both do that, so it's not just like, oh, you got a bad one. They're both doing it. Okay, so I have it on right now. There's the halo on this one. It's pretty dim. Now here are the ones on my Q power. Same lights, same style, just these are an older model. And these things are nice and bright. They look good. They're not, fading and coming in and out or flashing or anything like that. They're nice and solid. They are side by side, and you can see it's a huge difference. And I took one off of here, tried it with same wiring as these. These two are bright, this one's dim. So it's the lights, it's not the voltage, it's not the wiring. Anyway, since I'm going to add this 12 volt converter for my new running lights, I'm going to put down here. I figured I might as well wire up these halos to 12 volts, get them on a lower voltage, just to see if that makes a difference or not. They are spec'd up to 80 volts, so if you're not supposed to put that much into these halos, then they should say something and not spec it to 80 volts. The good news is the headlights are fine. The headlights work great. They have no problem. So I've already connected up the input of my 12 volt DC converter. Red and black wires, and I just spliced it into the same input that's running my 5 volt converter, and that's my switched accessory point. When I turn on my accessory light switch, then this runs power to both the 5 volt converter and the 12 volt converter. I just now need to run that 12 volts up to my two halo lights. Alright, so here's the halos, both of them hooked up to 12 volts now, and it's not any better, certainly. The one side there's working, it's still very dim. The other side's not even coming on at all now. I'm going to disconnect them. I just will use the headlights. I'm not going to use the halos anymore because I'd rather have them not come on at all than have them come on, looking like there's something wrong. I've disconnected the positive input to the halos now, so I have no voltage going into them. I have another spare cable that used to go to my horn that used to mount right there. So I have a loose wire that I kept in there for future use, and now it's going to come in handy. So I've connected that wire. It goes down. The sheathing used to be for the horn. I've now connected that up to the output of my 12 volt DC to DC converter. So when I turn on my accessory light switch, I also get the 12 volts on this cable here. So I received the purple running lights now. They're 10 of them, actually got 10 of them for like 14 bucks. I was hoping to be more purple than this, but I think I have a way where I can make it more purple. By the way, these come in other colors too. They have amber, red, green, blue, and then just natural, white. So I have some of these filters. It's basically stage lighting filters. You can get those on Amazon too. Here's a pack for like 9 bucks with multiple colors. I have one that's purple here, a little bit left. I've used this in the past. And I'm going to cut small pieces of this and see if I can change the color to more of a purple by opening this up and then putting some of that purple filter on the inside between the LEDs and this purple lens here. So it worked out pretty good. I was able to just pry the end off and slowly pull it off. So I got a bunch of these cut out now that will fit inside the lens. I actually had to put 5 of those strips to get to this color right here. So this one's good, other than I do need to glue this lens back on to the base. And as you can see, I cut off those mounting ears, and basically I'm just going to be putting these right on this front bar below my headlights here. Okay, go let these dry good. I actually made 5 of them because I decided to replace my blue front side running lights with these purple strips. So I'm going to need one for there, one for the other side, plus the 2 in the front, that's 4. And then I also currently have a blue one under my rear fender here. I'm going to change that out for the purple strip as well, so I need 5 of those total. I got all my running light wires hooked up to the output of the 12 volt converter here. This one's going to the back LED. It's going to go under the fender. These 2 go down to the 2 front ones that I'm going to put back up in here, and then also the one that goes up to my loose cable I have up here right now. That will go to the 2 I have on the front here. So for the 2 that I'm going to put on the front here, of course they're not going to sit flat with these wires there. I'm going to take my soldering iron and melt a little notch in it right here so I can put the wires like down inside so it's flush with the back. Alright, that should work. So I'm going to use my go-to adhesive for scooters, and it's this stuff called shoe goo. So I'm going to put some of this on the back of each one of these LED strips with the wires facing down so I can run the wires underneath this bar instead of over the top. One of the things I like about this stuff is it's very thick. You can see it's almost like it's like toothpaste kind of. So when you put it on something, it doesn't tend to run. It's easier to mount something vertical like this. So gotta let that dry up. So these ones I'm putting here will be a bit easier because I already have a hole going into the chassis there that I can just simply run these wires straight through. Alright, got those both on there now. Have that one mounted on the rear fender now, the underside. Have the front 2 wired up, tying the 2 reds from the lights together, 2 blacks together, and then having them run to my positive and negative output of my 12 volt converter. So I just need to tuck those back up under there, probably use some of that shoe glue to glue them up under there. Moving on, I'm now going to wire these 2. Alright, got both those 2 wired up now. So all 4 of my front LED strips are now wired up to the output of the 12 volt converter. And lastly, I need to do the one for my rear fender. Alright, should be done here. I got the back fender mounted back up, wired up to that new light, and tucked all my wires away, tie wrapped them down. I also on the rear fender here used a purple lightning decal to cover up the hole. I'm using that lightning on the sides too to cover up various holes, like right there where I removed the top charge port. I covered that hole with that sticker. Various other holes where I removed the original stock side lights, and then also on this side I removed the kickstand, so I had some holes there from that, and that's why I used this purple lightning, not so much as a decoration but a way to cover up those holes. Anyway, so I got everything wired up. Let's see how they look. Turn on my accessory light switch. Alright guys, that's it for this one. Take care, peace, ride safe.